All right, the new year is almost upon us, which can only mean one thing: New Year's resolutions. And amongst some of the top New Year's resolutions, like taking back your health, getting in better shape, one of the most common New Year's resolutions that I find from many people is they want to read more. They want to spend more time on personal development, and they want to spend more time reading. They want to read more books in the new year, and that's actually a pretty good idea. Some of the most successful and influential people in the world, like Warren Buffett, swear that reading and having a daily habit of reading has been one of the essential pillars of their success. And it's been said that Warren Buffett actually reads 500 pages a day, and I'm guessing that might be helping his now nearly $87 billion net worth. So if Warren Buffett says he reads a lot, I think it's probably a safe bet and probably a good idea on your end. But here's the problem, is that a recent article came out that said that 80% of New Year's resolutions actually never get completed and never get met. So the odds are not exactly in your favor. So what I want to do in this video is give you my top 10 strategies to ensure that you hit your goal of reading more in this new year so that you can end next year a better person than when you started. Now, before we get going with this video, make sure you click that red button over there to subscribe to this channel so that way you can get more access to brain hacking videos, more videos that'll help you get more done and help you gain more freedom in your health, your business, and your life. First strategy that I have for you is to turn off the TV. This is one of the hardest ones, and the television is one of the most easiest things to get addicted to, and it really starts with just a taste, right? We just want to watch just a little bit of that show, and then surely enough, the end of the show ends on a cliffhanger. Well, you can't just leave on a cliffhanger. You gotta watch the next episode. You gotta see what happens. Sure enough, it's 4 o'clock in the morning and you are no closer to reaching your goal. And the problem is you're only through season 1. There's 5 more seasons left to go, right? You get the picture. The TV is the arch nemesis of your reading habit. So if you want to start reading more, you need to start taking a break and getting some separation from your television. There's some easier ways to do that. One, if you're pretty diligent, you can kind of set that time aside for specific times of the day to watch TV, maybe certain lengths of time to watch TV. Some of the other more fun options are to put your TV remote in an inconvenient location, like put it in the back of your closet, put it in a kitchen drawer in the very back. Put it somewhere where it's not very convenient and easy to get to so you can just grab it on and just turn on the TV. The last one that you can use is to actually just unplug your TV so that anytime you want to use it, you have to replug everything back in. So one of the things you can do is unplug the TV, unplug your Apple TV, your Roku, unplug everything so that the wires are all out. So that way, in order to watch TV, you really have to put more effort in. Now, number 2 is if you want to read more, you can always read faster. What a revolutionary concept. But this is where speed reading courses come into play. And there's some really fantastic courses that are available on the internet that are going to help you read faster and also help you to retain the information you're reading so you're not losing retention as you're reading faster. And this can really be very helpful, not just in your personal goals to read more, but also in your business as well. If you are reading a lot during your day-to-day business activities, this can be really helpful as well. And there's some phenomenal courses available out there, really easy to follow along and can really help you read faster, which is also going to help you maximize your time every time you sit down to read. Number 3 is read first thing in the morning. There's something special about first thing in the morning that just sets the tone for the rest of the day. And a lot of people will say, I just don't have enough time for reading. Where am I going to find time in the day to read in my busiest schedule? One of the easiest ways to add time into your day is to either go to bed earlier and wake up earlier, or just wake up earlier and take about 15, 30, maybe an hour before you normally wake up just to start reading, to spend more time reading depending on what your goals are. And there's some actual brain science behind why this can be really helpful. Not only are you adding more time into your day, but when you start your day accomplishing a goal, so let's say you had a goal if you wanted to read 50 pages a day, if first thing in the morning you accomplish that goal of reading 50 pages in that morning time, what you do is you actually activate the release of dopamine in your brain, which makes you feel really great about accomplishing that goal, but it also is your motivation neurotransmitter, which is going to help you stay more motivated to accomplish your goal. And a lot of people who do this find that waking up early and taking care of that first thing in the morning becomes incredibly addicting to do in a good way, right? And it helps you accomplish that goal of reading more, so that way you continually create this habit of reading on a daily basis. Number 4, Set goals for reading. And ideally, you want to have a goal with a reward in mind. And I almost think of it like getting your 10,000 steps a day. Maybe it's 20 pages a day, maybe it's 10 pages a day, maybe it's 100 pages a day, whatever works best for you. But think of it kind of like your fitness tracker and counting the steps that you're taking each day. You got to get to the 10,000. Well, you got to get to those 20 pages in a day, however you can, whether you're doing it in the morning, afternoon, or evening. And I like using rewards for this, especially if you have a bigger goal, like you want to read a book a month or maybe 20 books over the course of the year, whatever it is. And this can be really helpful. Rewards are a really motivating tool to help you accomplish your goal. And it worked really well for me. When I was a kid, I hated reading. I would not read a single page out of any book. To me, reading for fun was an oxymoron. So my poor mom, what she did one time is in order to get me to read anything, she said, Brady, if you read just one book, any book, I will buy you a TV. Right? And so guess what happened? I knew there was a reward at the end of reading this book, and I read that book in 2 days in record time for me as a kid. But then the problem was I got a TV and then reading stopped until I became a young adult. So go ahead, set a big goal, and also create a big reward around it. Number 5, put books in your way. And I mean literally put books in the way. Have you ever noticed how in somebody's house, in many people's houses, that the TV remote is front and center directly in the room? And what do people end up doing for a majority of their day? It's so easy. They just pick up that remote and they start watching TV. They make it so easy on themselves. And if you want to make it easier for yourself to read more, you got to put the book in the line of sight, right? If it's out of sight, it's out of mind. So you need to put it in your path. And this can just get absolutely ridiculous. And I highly recommend that you make this ridiculous because it's going to help you accomplish your goal of reading more. So literally put the book in your way. Put it in the hallway. Put it on your couch. And if you're really tidy and really messy, this is going to drive you absolutely insane, but it works. Put it on where you sit on the couch. Put it in your kitchen table. Put it right next to your pillow on your bed so that no matter where you go, that book is right in front of you and it's going to continually be in your line of sight. So that way you're continually putting on the forefront of your brain that you have this goal to read more, and trust me, it'll work and it'll help. Number 6, make reading an experience. And a lot of times if we're reading at the same place, the same time, every single day, reading can become almost more of a chore. And I know reading can still be fun, but a lot of times, sometimes we just need a little change of pace. Sometimes we need to change the location. And so often what can be really fun is to create an experience out of it and go somewhere new, check out a new coffee shop, go check out a new restaurant, go to a park with a view, go to the beach, go somewhere that's different and interesting and gives a new experience around your reading. Number 7 is commit and go big. And what I mean by this is if someone, let's say, gave you $100 worth of books, likelihood is if you didn't read a single book, you probably wouldn't care that much. But if you put your own $100 into it and you bought those books, my guess is you're probably going to read a lot more than just one of those books. And the reality here is when you invest in something, you are more committed to it and you're more likely to achieve that goal because you invested your hard-earned money into that. And so a lot of times what I personally like to do is I like to buy a big batch of books at once, and I create my own curated reading list and I buy them all at once and I put a large lump sum down. So that way when I get those books in the mail, I know I need to commit to this because I put money into that and I'm more invested in my own success and achieving that goal because I put my own money down. Number 8 is create your own mini course. Now, have you ever been interested in space, dog psychology, maybe the history of cinematography? Well, if you have any other passions that you've been interested in, been wanting to learn more about, one of the things you can do is actually to create your own mini course. And if you remember from high school or college, a lot of times for any class, there was always a required reading list. And essentially this is a list of books and resources that you'd be using throughout the course to come back to or read for different assignments. And what you can do is you can create your own required reading list. So for instance, when I started getting really interested and passionate about brain science, what I did is I bought tons of different books all at once that ranged from neuroscience to psychology to brain health, brain anatomy, and even marketing to better understand how our brain works, and basically created my own mini course that really fueled my passion to learn more about the brain. Number 9 is don't be afraid to stop a book. If you've ever been going through a book and halfway through you're like, man, this book is so boring. I'm so over this book. But for some reason we have this inward feeling that makes us feel like we got to complete the book. We got to see this book to the finish, right? We paid for it. We committed to it. We got to commit to the end of it, right? There are no rules of engagement when it comes to reading books. Sometimes the book just wasn't as great as you thought it would be. You didn't really vibe with the author and his writing style. Maybe it's just not like the book, or maybe it's just not the right time. You can always come back to that book later. There are no rules of engagement when it comes to books. So don't be afraid to put the book down and either come back to it later or just put it away. That's okay. Make sure you give yourself the freedom that if you're not interested in a book, put it away, because the likelihood is if you start to feel like reading becomes a chore or reading is becoming work just to drudge through this book, you're not going to be able to stick to your goal of reading. So don't be afraid to put that book away. And number 10 is read multiple genres of books at once. This is one of my favorite things to do. I'm always constantly reading 3 to 4 different types of books at once, ranging from health and science to personal development, from business to even spiritual or even things from my faith. I'm always ranging and kind of encircling different types of books. And it's essentially my own reading buffet, because you never know what kind of mood you're going to be in when you go to sit down to read. And if you want to make reading a habit, if you're going through a really heavy or detailed business or science book or a psychological book, a lot of times that takes a lot of energy to work through. And if you want to create a reading habit, sometimes you just need a little bit of a break. Sometimes you need something that's a little bit easier to read. So having different options available to you that are all within your passion or things that you enjoy to read will allow you to maintain your habit of reading. And so for some people, this is a hard thing to do. They like focusing on one or the other. But for someone like me, this allows me to maintain my habit of reading so I can kind of go back and forth between several different books at any given time. So sometimes in the morning, I'll go for my more detailed book when my mind's fresh. As I go towards the end of the day, that's when I start picking up more fiction books to allow my brain and mind to start unwinding from the day. Hey, thank you so much for watching this video, and hopefully these 10 strategies are going to give you all the tools that you need to accomplish your goal of reading more in this new year. I tell you what, there's nothing more powerful than reading more that gives you the capacity to change your life dramatically in the new year. Nobody wants to end the new year the same person they started off with, and reading is one of the most powerful tools you have at your disposal to create life-changing results in your personal, your business, or your spiritual life. Now, if you also need just a little bit more help going forward and want something a little bit more tactical to help you reach those goals, I have a free guide called the Get Shit Done Guide that's actually lays out yearly, monthly, weekly, even daily goals to help you accomplish the goals that you have set for the new year. And you can download that by clicking the link right down below.